What's the biggest red flag when meeting new people?
Before we begin, do us a favor by clicking that like button, and subscribe to our channel for more top Reddit stories every day.
I've seen a lot of answers along the lines of when they say negative things about others, which I agree with BTW. But for me, a huge red flag is when someone can't let someone else receive praise or be the center of attention. I've met people in the past who have shown small signs of jealousy when I've praised mutual friends, siblings, strangers, etc., and in each case it was indicative of bigger jealousy and self-esteem issues that led to some messed up stuff. The absolute worst is people trying to one-up another person's suffering. It's one thing to listen and say I have a similar experience, this is what it is so I can relate to what you're going through, but it's entirely another when it's so you've sprained your ankle? I broke mine in 3 places and was on crutches for months. What you're going through is nowhere near as bad. Never, ever dismiss someone else's pain because you think you've been through worse. Edit, first silver, first penny badge, thank you kind stranger. Edit 2, can't believe I got gold for a rant. If they can't take no for an answer. Yeah, I met someone, strictly platonic, recently who immediately got defensive when I said I couldn't take time away from my business at the time to do something social with them. They threatened to show up at my house and asked, "What would you do then?" There had been a bunch of red flags with this person leading up to this point, but that was where I was like, goodbye, psycho. That's not how any healthy friendship/acquaintanceship works. Thank goodness I have enough good people in my life to recognize that. I have only ever met 2 men, that I'm aware of, who lied to me about their ages when we met. Both of these men turned out to be extremely unpleasant and abusive people. I dated one of them and knew the GF of the other one. I think people who lie easily even over trivial things tend to have very complex psychological problems and are best steered clear of. This last boyfriend did this by 5 years to make himself look older. He lied about lots of things for months to get me to fall for him. Scariest part was how much he lied to himself to dodge his own issues. He honestly didn't see how much he was the cause of his own problems. I had to nope out of that one really fast. He ended up stalking me for months. Actually, he's still doing it. It's been a nightmare. He even moved into my neighborhood. If someone makes our first conversation sexual when it definitely didn't need to go that way, I'm out. Just a couple days ago I met a new neighbor and he asked if I was Irish, red hair. I said no. He said he used to have a red beard. Now he is bald and that means he has an abundance of testosterone. I'm still silent, not knowing what to say. He carried on and said he used to work at a hospital and had a bunch of really sexually active coworkers who only dated bald men. At that point I just walked away because what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Especially what he asked me. Gross. No thanks. It took 20 seconds for you to get weird. I don't want to hear anymore. How they treat waiters/waitress, cashiers, janitors, bus drivers and everyone in the service industry. A coworker friend of mine left a bunch of trash at the cinema after we finished watching a movie. I angrily pick up his trash, chased him and told him to throw it away at the bin 3 meters outside of the cinema. And he replied, "Dude, why are you so Japanese? I did graduated from Japan, I'm just letting the janitors doing their job." No dude, it's not being Japanese, it's being having manners. Couldn't look at him the same way again ever since. So true. Full red flag for not cleaning her own mess regardless of the situation. I mean seriously, who would want to date/be friends with such a trash folk? Same goes for basic manners. We don't care if your family owns the whole goddamn planet. If you lack manners you will get zero respect and appreciation as a fellow human being. I have an unusual name. I don't mind when people ask me to repeat it, or even when they awkwardly ask about its origin. Dad is an immigrant, but when they're obnoxious about it that's usually a good indication that they are stupid/an asshole. Unusual name here too. Unfortunately it's become popularized by a common allergy drug. Maybe calling people over and laughing isn't as fun for me as you'd imagine, buddy. Please stop. I have a friend like this. She was crying about some guy she went on 2 dates with not wanting to continue to see her, and how her bike got stolen, acting like it was the end of the world. When I mentioned my dog having cancer and dying, the response I got was, "Yeah, but that's not that bad because you have some warning ahead of time," and then continued on about how her life is worse than anyone else's because of mild inconveniences. She was also yelling at me this entire time like her bike getting stolen and someone not wanting to date her was my fault. You immediately start hearing from them about all the time other people have hurt them, betrayed them, or otherwise been assholes to them. If everyone you encounter is an asshole, chances are, you're the asshole. I met a girl through mutual friends that seemed cute. We flirted a bit and then became Facebook friends. 98% of her feed is passive-aggressive jabs at ex-boyfriends, or about guys friend-zoning her after having the nerve to accept back rubs yet not rewarding her kindness with a relationship. Oh, so if we date and it doesn't work out, you're going to put me on blast to all our mutual friends? That's a hard pass for me. If they are unaware of people around them in a social sense, like, they don't thank service staff or stand in the middle of crowded walkways and not move out of the way of others, congratulations, you have made friends with a toddler. This is not the biggest of red flags, just ones that have recently pissed me off. My ex was just like that. It was like she lived in her own little bubble. I really think it wasn't because she was a bad person per se, she just didn't seem to realize that the world didn't revolve around her. But it was really stressful going out with her because I'd always felt like I had to be twice as social/polite/aware to make up for her. One of my bosses once told me that whenever you start a new job/position, that's usually the first person who tries really hard to be your friend is the problem child of the office. They'll usually start telling you of people to avoid as well. I've found this very useful. Everyone has bad traits and good traits. Please nobody read this Reddit thread and start labeling your friends as assholes, cutting people out for having these traits. Get an ego boner for not doing some of these things. For every bad trait you see in a good friend, you'll see like 10 good traits. For every good trait you see in a bad friend, you'll see like 10 bad traits. And don't forget that you can have flaws as well. Edit. And as Pepper Potts pointed out, this goes the other way too. Don't be too critical on yourself. I can assure you that anyone could name a myriad of good traits for every possible red flag that you might have. You remind me of a guy I used to date. I mean, that can be a compliment as well. They're saying you're their type, and you have no idea how the other relationship ended. Maybe they were at different places in their lives. Maybe one had to move away. Maybe one wanted kids and the other didn't. IDKY, everyone presumes all breakups are horrible. Actually, that's a big red flag right there. Someone who hates all their exes. All they talk about is themselves and don't ask a single thing about you. I get the feeling that they just want to only talk about themselves, don't care who it's to, and don't really care about the person they are speaking to. When they monopolize a conversation, when they steer the conversation so that you end up being shown a phone full of photos, when they engage in a whole monologue about their health or relationship issues, when they brag a lot if not about themselves then their family members. God, I hate reading this thread because I do the health stuff a lot. I'm about to do it as an explanation. Fuck me. I have narcolepsy and a GI issue, and I look like an insane person if I don't explain it. I'm twitchy, have trouble speaking sometimes, can't swallow at other times, get distracted, fall asleep, forget things, and I'm generally not into eye contact. It's all because of those health problems, so I try and explain that ahead of time so people don't think I'm weird. I feel so self-conscious from this post. If they nitpick your appearance or do a give and take. I just talked to a girl from a dating app who did that, and after I called her out for being very rude, she doubled down. It's a red flag for emotional abuse emo. People that are not considerate with your time. Being 5 minutes late every so often isn't a big deal, but when people are consistently 20 minutes late and make people wait, say for a dinner, man, I'd love if people only wasted 20 minutes of mine. I find if I plan anything with people, my whole day is shot sitting around waiting and changing the plan at least 5 times. When the first thing they tell you about themselves is all the hardship and unfairness in their lives. Edit. Wow. First silver. Thanks all. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms. At night, I lie awake in agony until my heart attacks put me to sleep. Reading through these comments made me realize I'm an asshole. Edit. It's like, I've been told I'm an asshole by my very best friends constantly at one point of time, and I just shrugged it off thinking I'm way too charismatic for them to handle. First step in fixing a problem is acknowledging there is one. Being an asshole isn't permanent. Keep up the good work. Edit. Thanks for the silver. It's my first medal ever. When you mention something you enjoy and they immediately put it down. I enjoy going on photography walks around cities. That sounds really SD. Okay, well, kindly get lost, Mr./Mrs. Stranger. Usually when people speak of having a lot of people in their life that somehow turned on them and now they don't speak anymore. I remember one old coworker would become super fast friends with someone. Then within weeks, yeah, we don't really talk anymore once, he'll accept, hell even twice. But when it's 4 to 5 times over, guess what? It's not everyone else. If they can't take no for an answer, yeah, I met someone. Strictly platonic, recently who immediately got defensive when I said I couldn't take time away from my business at the time to do something social with them. They threatened to show up at my house and asked, "What would you do then?" There had been a bunch of red flags with this person leading up to this point, but that was where I was like, goodbye, psycho. That's not how any healthy friendship/acquaintanceship works. Thank goodness I have enough good people in my life to recognize that.
Thank you for watching this fantastic story. Please tap one of the 4 videos on the screen for another amazing top Reddit story.